Hey guys, what's going on? Jared Fink here with another case study showing you how we worked with our clients and how we took them through a web presence transformation. Today, I'm happy to introduce Eddie Hareven from Eddie Jude Hareven Conflict Management Services. We worked together last year on developing her brand and her website, and today she was nice enough to join us to talk a little bit about the process. How's it going, Eddie? How are things with you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm doing well, thank you. Happy to have you here and happy to be able to do this with you. Maybe you can just kind of kick things off and like just tell me how things are going with your business and how the website's doing and how everything is kind of playing out for you.
Yeah, things have been really great. The new website, almost a year later, is still awesome, and I still really love it. I feel much more confident sending it to potential clients, and it's been really just like working super well for me in meeting a lot of the goals that I had going into this. So yeah, still loving it.
Okay, well that's awesome. So yeah, we did quite a bit of work. You know, we did your branding, and then we also worked on your website, helped you with the content, and so forth. So I thought maybe a good place to start would just be to talk a little bit about the branding, because your original brand and your website, you know, I think you kind of did yourself, or you had someone help you, but you really didn't have a defined brand. And what we were able to do is take you through our discovery process, and through that really identify like who your customers were and the type of brand you wanted to develop, and then connect the two together. So maybe you could just speak a little bit about like the branding component and how you kind of resonated with it and how it's working out for you now.
Yeah, my original website I made myself. And yeah, it was very much just like because I needed a form of web presence, and really needed a more recognizable brand, like something that looked more like a professional website for my business than just like my own personal website. Something to really take it like a step further. So when I came to Thrive, it was pretty much because I realized that I needed some kind of brand in order to grow my business, in order to actually expand my client reach. Um, and the process was really great. Like I learned so much about my own business, like questions that I had never thought about before. I don't have a business background. So all of those questions that were asked to me during the branding process and the discovery sessions were really eye-opening, and I feel helped me really learn about what I actually wanted to do and who my clients were and what my market was like. Um, and it was a really great experience. It was like really educational, and really helpful. And I think like really helped, like still helps me today in being able to use like the brand book to create all of my, current marketing and advertising tools, and to use on social media and things like that. I'm still using all of those tools like today and like on a daily basis.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. That's actually really great to hear. I'm actually just going to share my screen for one sec because I want to just kind of walk through how we started this process. And one of the things that we utilize is something called um, Stylescapes. So if you remember when we first started this project, we kind of looked at three different stylescapes and three different look and feels were based on that discovery process. This is the first one, and the attributes that we identified with your brand, these were five of them: trustworthy, empathetic, empowered, preventative, and hopeful. And this was kind of one of the color schemes that we kind of identified. I'm just going to kind of roll through it here. Um, yeah, and you can kind of see like how the colors and how the photos and everything kind of blend together. The fonts that we chose for this one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you remember. And then the second one, which is this one. Now, this was the one that we actually based the whole brand off of. This was the one that resonated with you the most. So again, you can notice here the font difference, the photos, the colors especially. The colors was, I think, the big deciding factor here, as we wanted something that was going to be really light and bright, and really kind of connect with the audience. And then we had the third one, which was again a different color scheme, the black, the purple, and the green. And again, we have a different font selection here.
Yeah.
So in the end, we did end up going with this one.
We did take elements from the third one too, I believe.
Right. Actually, that's true, because we did use this as the logo mark. So that's a really good call out, is that the point of these stylescapes is like when we go through them, we create 3 different look and feels, but we do in the end create one final stylescape, which was based on this one, but we did use other elements from the other stylescapes. And the final stylescape is what we used to create the brand and the website and gave us our overall direction. Did you, like, how did you find that process using the stylescapes, and how did it, like, was it helpful for you to kind of go through that process?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel going in, I had no idea what I really wanted the site to look like. It was really in the early stages of developing my business, and I still wasn't super clear what I wanted the look and feel of the site to be. So it was really nice to go through that process and have a bunch of different options given to me that were also different, and be able to kind of pull things from each to create the final one. Yeah, I definitely thought it was like a very like fun and interesting process.
So in the end, this was kind of our final brand board. This was the logo that we kind of chose. We wanted to really emphasize, again, bright colors, sunshine, like really positive energy. The whole thing about what you do is conflict management. And so we wanted to kind of, when people kind of were introduced to your brand, we wanted to really showcase a real bright and kind of like light, airy kind of feel, that would kind of take away like the stress of the conflict that they may be going through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then just scrolling down, we ended up with this logo mark, which also came out really, really nice using the 3 colors, and then some design assets at the bottom, utilizing this kind of like abstract dandelion, which was the symbolization of growth. And I think also we used it to symbolize like just like flowing, I believe.
Spreading of knowledge, I believe, also like the spreading of education and
Yeah, right.
clients being able to take what they learn from my services back to their, workplace or to their organizations or communities. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that was kind of like the branding process, and then that's the brand that we kind of ended up for you. The next step was to then get into developing the website. So let me, I'll share my screen again, and now we can kind of just walk through the website. This was kind of like your original website. I did my best to kind of to find an older version of it online. So the header area is kind of like mixed up, but it was kind of like the colors were a lot different than they are now. There wasn't a lot of imagery. It was like just a lot of text, and there wasn't really any call to actions or any real goals. We were missing some content in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
And this was kind of the basis of the website. At the bottom, you did have like a mailing list. There was like a little bit of a call to action, but this was kind of like what you were working with. And then this is what we kind of developed off your new branding. Oops, there we go. So this was what we developed based off your new branding, and we can see it's a huge difference from what you were working with to what you have now. As we scroll down, we have a little bit more information about what you do, who you service, and really making sure you're identifying with your audience right out the gate, so people know that they're in the right place. And then moving down, we have the few key highlights of how you kind of help your customers. preventative approach, improved skilled and performance, and then empowered workers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other key kind of element here that we keep seeing is this kind of call to action here, download free toolkit. So this was like a way for when you click on it, for us to capture an email address, and in return they get some value. So you're not really asking for anything right out the door. You're basically trying to provide them with some value, and then in return getting their email address. So how is that working for you? Do you find people are downloading the toolkit?
Yeah, my mailing list has definitely grown significantly since we've put the toolkit on the website.
Okay, well that's really great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's definitely, I guess, been helpful for you because it also helps you generate leads and get closer to getting more customers. So and at the bottom, after we've kind of provided some value, then we introduce your services. All these services link off to their pages. And then at the bottom here, we have some client love, giving some like testimonials from some of your different clients.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the footer at the bottom of the site. Okay. So maybe I'll just kind of check out a couple more pages. Next, we can look at the About page. So on the About page here, again, we really wanted to have a strong statement right at the top. So helping people work together towards creating a more hopeful future. And again, I believe that this was like directed towards another pain point where a lot of your customers feel like there is no hope because of the conflict that they're going through or the situations that they're going through in their organization. And again, that's where you come in, providing that kind of hopeful experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we just have some more information about you. And the goal for this page was simply to get people to contact you. And at the end here, you can see how there's another link to your services page, continuing the flow of the website, keep moving people in a certain direction. And I'll just kind of go through this page kind of quickly as this kind of just connects to all the different services. This one, conflict management training, and just has some information about that, about this service. So is there any part of the website that really kind of stands out for you? Any like page or anything at all that really, in the end, I guess was like your favorite component, or like I said, stands out?
I mean, I think the conflict management services page has been a really helpful page for a lot of my clients. It really gives them kind of like a nice starting point where they can really get a good idea of what I do and then find the service that makes sense for them. It's nice that they can kind of get a little preview of each service. And then based on that preview, know which service they might actually be looking for. Because I think a lot of the time people come to me not knowing exactly what service they might need. So this is a nice way for them to kind of learn a little bit about each and then decide which one they think might be the appropriate one for them or their group.
Okay, so that's actually really great because that takes a little bit of the legwork away from you.
Exactly, yeah.
Direct people to the website, they can learn more about you. And again, the goal here was never to close the deal. It was just to get people to either download your free toolkit and capture that lead, grow your mailing list, or the ultimate goal was to get people to contact you, get them into your sales funnel, and then you kind of take it from there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, so it sounds like it's kind of working for you. There's a few other pages here. We had a couple of location pages. These pages were really geared towards your SEO and making it easy for people to find you online. So we added these two pages like Montreal Conflict Management Services. So conflict management services was your key word, and then by adding Montreal to it, we made it a little bit more niche. And I believe from the last time that I checked, I don't know if you even have been looking into this, but you were coming up on the first page when you did type in Montreal Conflict Management Services.
Oh, no, I did not know that. That's great.
Yeah, we can pop it in right now. Just so I can actually back up what I'm saying here. Yeah, there you are. Actually, you're coming up
Oh yeah,
first.
wow.
So like, and this is actually a really good lesson because even though like you're a small business and you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean you can't get good results online. And just by adding like Montreal conflict management services, this like makes it more localized. So people in Montreal, when they search for this, are going to find you now, which is like at the end of the day, the best thing possible.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so we also had obviously we had a contact page, um, and then which was a really simple page, I believe. Yeah, we just had the form on there, um, and then we also had the blog.
Which look at how much I've been using it. And I
Yeah,
actually
I'm just like
posted,
surprised
I
here.
just posted yeah, like a post that uses a lot of the branding elements
Yeah, this is amazing.
for a call to action. So
Good for you, because like a lot of people, you know, they'll have a blog or want a blog, but then they can't seem to find the time to actually utilize it. And this is great. The fact that you're actually finding time to utilizing it and putting information out there that you can share on your website, on social media and stuff.
exactly.
It really helps back you up as like as a subject matter expert by putting content out there around your expertise. So yeah, this is great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to come back now. I think we did an overview of like the brand and the website. So now I just want to kind of run you through a few questions, just to kind of help get some, you know, some of your feedback from what it was like working together. So my first question is, what was the main issue you faced before coming to Thrive Online?
I think my main issue was, like I said before, I really wanted to increase my online presence. And I felt that in order to do that, I really needed some kind of recognizable brand in order to stand out and to actually be viewed and taken more seriously. And I really had no idea where to start or how to do that. And so upon like doing all of my research and trying to find somebody who can help me, and I think somebody recommended you to me in a huge list of, you know, like a Facebook thread of other people, and your website really stood out
Hmm.
to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. So how is life different now since you've been using your new brand and your new website? How have things kind of shifted?
I mean, I've definitely noticed like a huge increase in traffic to the website, and have been keeping a pretty close eye on that. And I think it's a mix of just like also being more confident with my web presence, like having a website that I feel really proud of and that really I feel represents what I do. Um, and I also think that the website itself, um, its presence also makes more people want to refer other people to me. Like, I think it's just a much more professional looking
Okay, yeah,
website,
great.
a much easier to navigate, a much clearer website. I get a lot more emails now, like the people who contact me, it's a lot more about wanting to work together, like an offering already or like a request for work rather than an inquiry as to like what I do, right? Because the
Okay,
website
yeah, that's
already
actually great.
plays
Yeah.
that, which is great because like you said, that takes a lot of extra like work, especially because, you know, my business is just me, so I'm the one doing all of that work. So definitely, yeah, like an increase in traffic to the website, an increase in leads, and just like it being easier to engage in social media and online marketing because of the brand board and all of the elements. It's just all I have to do is pull them
Hmm.
and create any of my blog posts or my Instagram posts. Um, and it's just all been really easy to just keep using and utilizing.
Okay, yeah, that's really good. I'm happy you're able to utilize it that way. You mentioned like more traffic to the website. So have you been keeping track through Google Analytics, like taking a look at the traffic that's coming to the site?
Yeah, I've also been using the insights
The
on the
website.
website itself,
Okay.
um, to keep track of, traffic to the website, the most used pages, new and
Okay.
returning um, viewers, things like that.
So
Yeah.
what is the most viewed page, if you recall?
Um, I
Probably.
think the most viewed page, actually don't remember. I think it's either the first or the second most viewed is like the conflict management services page that I was mentioning, uh,
Okay.
as
So
being one of my favorite pages.
yeah, so the reason why I'm even asking is because you could totally leverage that, and if you know that most people are hitting up that site, you could maybe be worthwhile. You could add some extra content there. You could even add a video maybe that you're talking about the service. Video will go a long way, but it's a good, using the analytics and the data is a really good tool to understand what pages are the most popular and then which ones you can kind of build off of. So if you know that that's the most popular one, then it could be a good place to kind of expand. Um, but that's good. I'm happy that things are working out for you in that respect, and definitely getting more traffic to the website. I wouldn't be surprised, and we can definitely look at this. I can help you look at that, but to see if the keywords are what's helped driving more traffic to the site, that Montreal and even Ottawa conflict management services, to see like if that's really bringing a lot more traffic to the website.
Hmm.
Okay, so what are some of the benefits you experience with working with Thrive Online?
I think, I left with a much clearer understanding of my business, of my customers, of my market, my competitors, like all of these really important things that I really did not consider that much beforehand. Um, and also, I left with more a much more beautiful website and a better web presence. And I also think like a lot more confidence in being able to scale my business, and grow it.
Oh,
Um,
wow, okay, that's amazing. That's great. I'm glad that, especially you're leaving with more confidence, and like the web presence being 100%. But the first thing that you said was that you had a better understanding of who your customers are, and like how did you feel like that really benefited you? Like, are you able to hone in on them more? Because one of the big like lessons when you're an entrepreneur or a small business is not to go after everyone. You really want to hone in on who your niche audience is. So how has that really like benefited you, and how have you kind of leveraged that?
Um, Definitely, in just knowing who I want to work with and who is more likely to want to work with me, and basing that off, like, who I'm marketing to and who I'm advertising to or who I'm reaching out to. And it's also been really helpful in just like, it's been almost a year now, and being able to look back and be like, is this who I want to keep working with? Do I want to, you know, try to change my customer base? Like, just like even thinking about those things, whereas I feel like before I really didn't think about how important it is to hone in on a specific clientele, when you're such a small business. Um, and it also really helped me to apply for small business grants
Okay.
afterwards,
Oh, that's great.
because I already had this information. So when I was asked to create a business plan for a small business grant, and there was a whole, marketing, advertising, customer section, I already had so many of these like answers because we had talked about them. Whereas I feel like if I had gone into that before doing the discovery process, it
Right.
would have been a lot more challenging for me.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of leads me to my next question is like, what was it like for you to go through that discovery process?
It was like I said, it was so educational and like eye-opening, but it was also fun. Like I feel like I didn't feel like I was in business class, but it felt like a conversation. It was very personable. It wasn't, um, it wasn't like pretentious or too highbrow. Like it was very accessible in the way that the questions were presented, or kind of like the small little assignments I was asked to do. It felt, yeah, like really, really helpful and almost like cathartic in a way, because I think it really helps to be asked to think about your business and what you want and what your goals are. Um, it just was really, I think, an important process for me. Like, I definitely think that I left the discovery process a lot more knowledgeable
Right.
about what I wanted to do with my work.
Right.
It wasn't a lot of pressure either. Like it was very relaxed.
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate that because that's why, like the process of the discovery, we try to separate each session within a couple of days, so it's not too forced. But like the goal itself is like out of the discoveries to create a solution based on everything that we find in the discovery. So that way, when we write the copy, create the website, even create your brand, it's all geared towards things to resonate and draw in your ideal customers. And
yeah.
sounds like you got a lot more out of it than that. Okay, so my last question is, what would you say to someone who is on the fence about possibly working with Thrive Online?
I think as somebody who was also very nervous to take that next step, because it is a commitment for sure. And I think even on the website, it makes it pretty clear that you should be willing to commit some time and energy and thought into the process. I don't think that it was too overwhelming. I think the pace was like a really comfortable pace, yet quick enough that you feel like you're moving, and
Right,
making progress. Um, but that it will really benefit you and your business at the end. I think you'll leave really happy that you chose to go through the process than, maybe just, for example, having somebody make you a website before really getting to understand your business and like what your goals are. Like it's really an extra step that I think is really important.
okay, yeah, thank you. Again, that's really good feedback. And sometimes, yeah, it is a little bit challenging to people to see the end result before they even start a project. And it's a bit of a, especially up front, it's a little bit of a lengthy process. I mean, I wouldn't, maybe not lengthy, but in the end, I think it makes a lot of sense. From what I've been seeing, a lot of like, especially like smaller businesses and stuff will just try to create a website or a web presence based on the lowest cost presented to them. And what I'm seeing is like that works very temporarily, but then as they grow out of that website and they have to invest more money and more money into that web presence. So my whole thing is like, you might as well do things right from the get-go. It may take a little bit longer, but in the end, you're going to end up with a product that actually helps you grow your business, attract your customers, get more leads, and it seems to be really working out well. So I'm glad that you're getting the results out of it, which makes doing this, case study a great example for other people. So I appreciate you taking this time. That's all the questions I have for you today. Any final thoughts that you want to leave with?
Um,
I mean, you said a lot of nice things, and we covered quite a bit.
yeah,
So
I mean, I'm really happy with the website. I think that I really actually appreciated not feeling really rushed.
okay,
I liked that it was a maybe slightly lengthier process, but it was also a much more thorough process.
yes, I'm getting that feedback a lot. Is that keyword thorough, which is I guess a good thing, and um, I need to hone in on that because I have gotten some feedback sometimes that people say, "Oh, it's going to take too long. We want to do this," but I think there's enough clients out there that will appreciate that thoroughness. And then I got to stick with that because I'm not here to do things quick and kind of
Yeah.
simple. I want to work with people that want to go through that process. So yeah, thank you again for saying that. So, all right, well, I guess that's it. Again, I appreciate you taking this time, Eddie, and I wish you more success with your business. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. And other than that, yeah, that's it. Thanks again for doing this, and we'll touch base soon.
Great. Thank you so much.